what's the deal? We'll make this quick. This is just a quick UFC 137 card. People want me to do one, so you got it. I'm just gonna go over the main card. I wasn't gonna do the prelims with Cerrone, Siva, and all that. But I don't want to. Um, First fight is Hioki versus George Root. Hioki is the former champion of Dream, I believe, and he's coming off of big wins over Marlon Sandro, Leon Takeshi, Mark Hominick, and Jeff Karan. And he's going to be facing George Root, whose biggest victory I think is Korean Zombie. Yeah, he's going to move off Korean Zombie, and yeah, that's about it. That's about all he's done since being in yeah, he was in the UFC, lost to Sideropoulos by Kimura. He beat Dave Kaplan by split decision UFC 98. That's back in the day, and split over Leonard Garcia, knocked out the Korean Zombie, AWC 51, and lost to Hominick, and got a win over Grisby. So this will be a big fight for him, his biggest test to date. Hatsuyoki, by many people, is the number 3 featherweight in the world. And I'd like to see Hatsuyoki win this fight and get in there and face Jose Aldo eventually in the future. That's what I want to see. Scott Jorgensen versus Jeff Karan. Jorgensen by, decision. That's about it right there. Krokop versus Nelson. I like to see Krokop win. I don't see it happening though. I think at this point in his career, doesn't pull the trigger, doesn't fight, doesn't do anything. He just kind of sits there and stares, looks. He hasn't completely deteriorated as a striker or a fighter, but the Krokop that knocked out Wanderlei Silva doesn't seem to exist anymore. Right leg hospital, left leg cemetery, that stuff don't exist no more. And I think it's gonna be into Krokop. I think at this point anybody can beat Krokop because he doesn't pull the trigger. When he fought Frank Mir, it was unaggressive. He just initiated clinches and didn't even try to attack him. When he fought Brendan Schaub, same story. His hands looked good until he got clipped and put to sleep. When he fought Pat Barry, he was very tentative. He was getting picked apart. If Barry hadn't, destroyed his own limbs, beating up Krokop, Barry would have definitely won a decision if nothing else. He beat Anthony Perosh. Perosh didn't really fight back. He lost to Junior Santos mainly because he was afraid and didn't pull the trigger. He beat Mustafa Al-Turk, his last impressive victory. And he beat Choi Hongman Choi, I guess that is, in K1 2008. And, a no contest over him from the knees to the groin. And pretty much it's been downhill. Everything after the Wanderlei Silva fight's been downhill. Even the win over Barnett at Pride, and even the win over Eddie Sanchez, who 6'7", weren't impressive. We saw what happened when he fought Gonzaga. I just think at this point in his career he's done. I'd like to say Krokop would come in there and win. He's one of my favorites, but I just don't see that happening. Roy Nelson coming off of let me look at Roy Nelson. I think he's came off a loss to Frank Mir, right? Yeah, decision loss to Frank Mir a while back. UFC 135, 130. What was that? Yeah, UFC 130. It was back in May. Lost to Dos Santos by decision. Went over Struve by first round knockout. Went over Shaw by first round knockout. Before that, lost to Munson, Arlovsky. He beat up Kimbo in between them. I don't know. I'd like to see Roy Nelson come in and do something too. I guess I like both guys. Nelson needs this win because if he loses this, he's probably out of the UFC. Krokop needs this win because this is probably going to be his last fight, and he's going to probably go out if he doesn't win this. Really not much I can say. It's a lose situation as a fan. Both guys, one of these guys is not going to be fighting anymore in the UFC, probably no matter what the outcome is. So, but just from the way Krokop's been fighting, I go with Krokop. Is going to probably get knocked out in this fight. Nelson looked really good on the feet, even the fights he lost, and he's going to be looking somewhat slimmer this fight too. Nelson has the advantage on the ground, and probably on the feet too. Krokop doesn't fight striking anymore, so I'm going to go with Roy Nelson by TKO or knockout, probably in the first. Czech Congo versus Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione coming off a couple big wins over less than stellar competition. This will be definitely his biggest test to date, his biggest obstacle, so to speak, against Czech Congo. He has wins over Marcus Jones, which was Marcus Jones' second, third fight. That was his actual first fight in the UFC. Beat Kimbo Slice, beat Joey Beltran, beat Tim Hague, Christian Warcraft. None of those guys are A-class level fighters. Congo has more fights than all these guys combined, I believe. So, except maybe Tim Hague. and Beltran. But we'll see what happens. I think Chet Congo's going to be able to beat him every part of the fight, ground, standing, whatever. And I think we're going to see Congo get a decision victory or maybe even a TKO stoppage. BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz. I don't even want to call decisions because I like both guys a lot. Diaz coming off of a big victory over yeah, his last fight was against Paul Daly. It is his last fight in Strikeforce for the belt. Some people call it round of the year. Finally, people say it's one of the most exciting 5 minutes intervals they've ever seen in a fight before. Before that, he had a good one over Cyborg Santos, good one over KJ Noons, and a rematch, grudge match. He went to Dream 14 back in May and beat up Sakurai, and went over Marius Aramskis, which where he won that belt. Very exciting fight too, by the way. Before that, he beat up Scott Smith, Frank Shamrock, Thomas Denny, Lucian Corby, Katsuya Inoue in Dream, and all that was before his questionable stoppage via cut to KG News back in the Elite XC days. Diaz is going to come in here. Hopefully, fight switch. He's going to open up a lot. Hopefully, be very explosive in this fight and try to wear BJ Penn down. Penn's coming off of a big draw over John Fitch. It was a good fight too. Penn looked the best in that John Fitch fight, in my opinion, other than the third round. He's looked his entire career. He neutralized Fitch's ground game, exposed his stand-up, and even took Fitch down, put him on his back a couple times in that fight, which nobody really does except for GSP. I would love to see not GSP, but Nick Diaz come here and beat BJ Penn, but I just don't see it happening. And I think BJ Penn's going to come here and do his business and get Nick Diaz out of there. It's going to be an exciting fight, no matter what happens. The longer the fight goes, the more it's going to be in the court of a guy like Nick Diaz, who fights good at 170, who's probably the best conditioned athlete in the weight class, if not the entire UFC, or even maybe MMA as a whole. Versus BJ Penn, is probably the best fight in the first round in MMA. Decision, I'm going to go with BJ Penn by some sort of victory. I don't know how Penn's going to get it done, but I think Penn should be the guy to bet on. But don't be surprised if Diaz can pull it off. I think BJ Penn's on his way out. I think these are the last couple of fights we're going to get from BJ. So don't be surprised if Nick Diaz puts him away. And that's it. By the way, if I get enough views on this video, I'll drop some more. This is just more of a test video, see what kind of views I can get. People actually want to see me do these kind of videos. So if I can just keep getting a lot of views and people want to see it, I'll do more.